What's going on, guys? This is pojr coming at you with another video. This is going to be a little bit different from the last two videos that I made. I'm going to be focusing on a series that gets a lot of negative reception. Is the game really that bad, or is there some room for improvement, or is it a hidden gem? Let's find out. You probably know where this is going, right? I'm gonna sit here and rip apart Bubsy 3, right? Well, yeah, it's a game with many flaws. The controls are horrible, even for 1996 standards. The graphics do not impress. I mean, look at that draw distance. And Bubsy's voice is way too annoying. I cannot stress that enough.
Oh, don't be shy! Step right up and we'll tell you.
Electronic Gaming Monthly rated this the 7th worst console game of all time. Also, by the way, could you not put the rating inside of the text, please? Come on. But does that necessarily mean the first two games are automatically bad? Let's give these games an honest look. We'll start off with the first one. It looks alright. You start off with 9 lives. Get it? 'Cause you're a cat? And cats have 9 lives? Anyway, there's a lot to compliment here. The graphics are really nice. Almost looks kinda like a Dr. Seuss cartoon. What, you don't see it? Stage 2 was always my favorite because you can ride the roller coasters and make faces, and I admire that Bubsy has multiple cartoony faces. For an example, when he falls at too great of a height, he gets squashed like an accordion and walks away. When he falls in the spikes, he deflates like a balloon. I always loved the attention to detail, and it's like you're playing a cartoon sorta. Gameplay-wise, it plays sorta like Sonic, where it's fun to go really fast. So there is a lot of good here, but there are some issues. For one, the controls, they're horrible. It feels so slippery, and it's difficult to slow Bubsy down. There's also some weird momentum when Bubsy jumps. It's kinda hard to explain, but it makes it difficult to change directions mid-air. Also, get this, one hit and you're dead. For a game where Bubsy can go really fast, it's a huge problem that he's difficult to control, and the fact that you can die in one hit. In between each stage, Bubsy says something different.
Well, it worked for Clint.
Wait, what did he just say?
Well, it worked for Clint.
It's a nice addition that there's so much speech in this game, but every time you die, you hear the same line again.
I could possibly go wrong. I could possibly go wrong. I could possibly go wrong.
There are a few weird oddities I wanted to point out. There's a small underground area where you need to escape by being launched from a bottle cap. If the water reaches your head, you die. So that's fine, right? Well, look what happens when you die. That's it. He doesn't gasp for air, or he doesn't put his hand over his face, he just does that. Why? That's so weird. There's 2 power-ups, one that makes you invincible and the other makes you invisible. Otherwise, they have no difference. Why have 2 similar power-ups? Doesn't matter, I guess. Sometimes the level design can be bad. Here's one of the checkpoints you can get. And here's another one. Is it necessary to have one so close? Sometimes the problem is the opposite. Right now I'm going through this difficult stage trying to be careful. I die and
Well, it worked for Clint.
I'm back at the beginning. All that progress is done. There are some various doors and tunnels you can enter in the game. Sometimes they lead to cool stuff like bonus levels. Other times they're worthless. That was really helpful, thank you. Some of the enemies are kinda weird. You see these guys all over the game? They look like they're from the movie Ants or something. The giraffe? Alright, he's cool, I'll let him pass. The bosses kinda suck. The first stage boss looks like they stole Dr. Robotnik's bulldozer or something. They also recycle a lot of the bosses too. Stage 2, for an example, is like Stage 1 except they move faster. So, to conclude, I really do think this is a decent game. If they perfected the controls, maybe gave Bubsy a life bar or something, you know, like 3 hits and you're dead, something like that, I think this would have been a great game.
Alright, so we're not quite done yet. We still have one more game to do. So as concluded, the first game, there were some control issues, but otherwise it really wasn't that bad. In fact, I would say it is a slightly underrated game with some flaws. So is Bubsy 2 going to be able to pick up where Bubsy 1 left off and maybe fix some of the problems? Well, let's find out.
Bubsy, 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 Bobcat!
Aw man, we're already starting off with a voice. The title screen looks much better in my opinion. Bubsy doesn't look goofy like he does in the first game. So you can pick easy, normal, hard, or all of them. I'm gonna do normal because I actually want to show the whole game. So right away there's a huge difference. You can actually pick what order you want to complete the stages. Nice little innovation. Bubsy also controls way better. He doesn't have that momentum issue anymore, and he isn't as slippery. But Bubsy is also way faster than he is in the first game. The game sounds way better too. In the first game, everything sounded so muffled, almost like it was underwater. This game improves that. I specifically like the bouncing animation when you hit an enemy. I also love how the music speeds up when you're falling. Like in the first one, there's a lot to admire here. Bubsy still has a lot of cartoony faces. For an example, when you fall into a bottomless pit, he will pull out an umbrella and look down. When he gets zapped by lightning, he will be electrocuted.
Is there a doctor in the house?
There's also way more variety in this game. For an example, in the flying stage, you can shoot forward and below you, sort of like a shoot 'em up. My favorite stage is the space one, where you can jump higher because of no gravity, and there's a shoot 'em up stage here too. There are a few bonus games you can play in this too. One stage specifically you can guide your way through the inside of a car. That's really disturbing. The frog launching stage is by far the best bonus stage, as you can rack up a ton of free lives this way, and if it weren't for this bonus stage, I wouldn't have been able to get through this game. I admire that they give this game so much variety. It's clear that Accolade really tried to make this a better game. Bubsy actually has a life bar now. 3 hits and you're dead. This is a huge improvement over the first game, so having 3 hits and better control means this is a better game in every way. Right? Well, there are some problems. Most of the levels are non-linear, and you'll be spending time trying to figure out where you're trying to go. The Egypt example is the worst offender of this. It's been 20 minutes, where am I supposed to go? Alright, so right now I'm near the end of the stage. I find a secret door, so I go through it, and I'm back at the beginning of the stage. And I can't go back in either. You gotta be kidding me! The flying level is also very maze-like. Half the time you'll be banging into walls trying to figure out where to go. This is a shoot 'em up, why is it like this? Even though they have improved the controls and added a life bar, Bubsy is still way too fast, and it's difficult to avoid danger until it's too late. Some of the animations got lazier in this game. In the first game, when you fall into water, you'd be wearing a captain uniform, but in this game you don't. In the first game, like I said before, when you fall from a great height, you walk away like an accordion. In this game, however, you do get squashed, but Bubsy just stands there. Another weird oddity, in the first game you collect yarn balls. Okay, that makes sense. But in this game you collect marbles. Why? That doesn't make any sense. If you thought the first game had an annoying voice, this game is even worse. Bubsy no longer says something new each stage. Instead, he says the same 5 or 6 lines.
Bye-bye. Do you believe in miracles? Keep it up, just keep it up. Oh, nuts. I like it.
Bubsy actually sounds worse in this game than he did in the first one. Compare.
I could possibly go wrong. Is there a doctor in the house?
But I do have to give credit where it's due. The graphics are great, just like the first game. The music level specifically stands out. I like the different sounds the music notes make when you jump on them. I also like the different sounds the instruments make. The enemies' designs are a lot cooler too. The rhino dude is pretty cool. I also like the kangaroos and the singing sheep. I highly prefer the enemies in this game over the first one. Well, maybe except the cool giraffe. Remember in the first game how the bosses suck? Well, this game didn't even bother. There's no bosses whatsoever other than a final boss. Maybe Accolade realized they don't know how to make bosses, right? So they decided not to have them. The game has numerous items such as a Nerf gun, which is nice. There's also currency in this game you can collect, so you can purchase items. So it seems like the developers tried everything they could to make this a better game. But in my opinion, they oversaturated this game with features, and as much as I appreciate the upgrades, I prefer the simplicity of the first game. So if I had to pick a genuine favorite, it's gotta be the first one. This decision might surprise you. I like a lot of the changes they made with the second one. Better controls, a life bar, more gameplay variety, but I'm not a fan of the maze-like levels, and I miss being able to just walk to the right and beat the stage. If they made Bubsy 1 with Bubsy 2 controls and life bar, it would be the ultimate game. So that concludes my thoughts about the Bubsy series. I think a lot of people disregard the first 2 games because Bubsy 3 is so bad, but in reality you're missing out on 2 decent games. So with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. This one took a lot more work than usual. Sorry it took so long to upload. So feel free to leave a like rating, drop a subscription if you haven't already. More content is coming. Have a good one, you guys.